They started in the early '90s, so
Okay.
it's more like a family for us.
Yeah.
So we like them very, very, very
Yeah,
much.
anybody that buys that kind of machines, absolutely.
Yes.
But back to your point about people maybe not asking the same questions as they did previously.
Yeah.
Right. It's probably because you're putting out content like that that now says, well, if Spirit Aerosystems is using, and they've bought 70 of them.
Oh yes.
What other questions could I ask?
That's true. I mean, they're a very good reference point, for machine tools. So I would say this helps a lot, and we try to do as much as we can with the customers. In our world, when we deal with this OEMs and tier ones, they don't really want to talk about it that much.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit hard to get them to, reveal what they have, and they have so many machine tool suppliers, so they don't want to, just this is Modig, they are so good. So you need to stay a little bit under the radar.
Yeah, I find it the same in my business with doing machining. Right, so many of our customers have us sign agreements that we can't say they're customers, and I'm sure you
exactly
you have the same thing. It's difficult for marketing sometimes, so you have to infer and things like.
But we try to push quite hard. We don't give up. We ask them every now and then.
Yeah. So, a couple of months ago, you came to visit me in Atlanta, visit my office. It
Beautiful
was fantastic.
place.
Thank you. And you saw something in one of my shelves, and then we instantly bonded.
Yes. Yeah. I saw your very nice prize you got from the Entrepreneur of the Year award, which I also have, so I recognize it.
Yeah.
So I was like you awarded in a big region.
Yeah.
And was taken to this national event where they choose the winner. Mm-hmm. And I was fortunate enough to win the Entrepreneur of Sweden 2 years ago.
Nice.
Which has also been helpful, right?
Yes,
Bringing in people to the company and getting the interest of what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, I know firsthand that is not an easy award to win. The competition is stiff.
Yeah.
And I remember, when I won that, kind of looking over my shoulder like, seriously?
Yeah,
Me?
exactly. I didn't know what the hell's going on.
With such a great cast of entrepreneurs all around.
So good.
So it's flattering. But I think I've always felt a lot in my career like I was playing over my head. Like, I'm playing at a level that I don't know that I deserve to be here, but I can't let everybody know. And I'm going to figure this out but before they figure it out.
I'm sure that's not how it is.
No, absolutely. Okay, so back to marketing a little bit. So do you do like traditional marketing, like print ads and things these days, or is it all digital?
No, almost nothing. So it's a lot of, we send out emails, we do newsletters, we partner up with companies that makes movies around, our equipment. MTD CNC is one of them, being a great partner.
Okay.
Coming out visiting customers and like Spirit, and it's a big help.
Yeah. I think that's certainly.
But really, what it's all about is when you sell the machines we have, which is not the standard type. I mean, standard in one way, but not the high volume machines.
Sure.
Then you need to show the customer.
Right.
You need to prove that you're so much faster, you're so much better. It's not like selling a commodity machine, really.
Well, I imagine you don't have a lot of trouble getting people to come to Sweden to take a look.
No, they love going there, but not in the winter.
No, just include that with the include that with the sale trip.
Yeah, no, there's quite a few actually. So we have a great place in the south part of Sweden. 2 locations where we have 2 factories.
Okay.
So one being the warehouse and sub-assembly machine shop, and then it's all sent down to another factory by the East Coast in Kalmar, where we do the assembly and the buy-off. So.
Okay, so two facilities.
Yes,
2 facilities there. Okay,
and then we obviously have the U.S. headquarters, which is in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
Close to Spirit.
Yeah. So I saw an animation and a graphic in your booth of something super innovative that you're doing.
Yes.
Again, Modig is changing the game.
Yes.
Let me let you tell.
No, I mean, over the years, it's always been me, and before me, obviously, my dad, who came up with the machine designs, and I don't know why, but I've had that knowledge of how machines should look like. So that was actually a dream, and 4 or 5 years ago, starting inverted machining. So spindle upside down, and there's a lot of benefits to it.
Let me back up, make sure people got that.
Yes.
Inverted machining.
Yes.
The spindle is upside down.
Yes.
So if you think of a 5-axis, from the graphic that I see, if you think of a 5-axis like trunnion style machine, the spindle is on the bottom.
Yes.
And the part flips 180 from what you would think it is, and is over the spindle.
Correct.
And I imagine that helps with, obviously, chip evacuation.
Very much so.
But rigidity.
Rigidity, yeah. So we have most of the moving parts in the bottom of the machine, close to the floor. So the ack and deck and the dynamics of it, it's really, really good. So we expect some really good results of it. We sold already 4 machines here in the show, and it's exciting for us. We're entering into a little bit more of a standard business. I mean, the 600, 800,000 millimeter pallet machines, trunnion machines, but it seems like the industry wanted something new now after 100 years of verticals and horizontals. Yeah. And this is exciting. I would say one of the most exciting things here on the exhibition.
I would say so too. Nobody else has an inverted machining center.
No one has it.
No, and I know you don't physically have one here yet, but but next time when people come, they're going to be able to.
They will see something amazing.
They will see something amazing.
Maybe we will have a deal, you and I.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I am just totally fascinated by the innovation, and my mind just keeps thinking about all the unique applications that brings. So it is taking you not toward a commodity market. I know Modig will never get there, but towards something that's maybe a little more higher volume of machine.
Higher volume and more competitors. Yeah. But also a broader market. Okay. We don't want to. I mean, if you look at normally what we see ourselves as is a high-end car. You know, you have the Porsche, you have the Lamborghinis, but you don't have many competitors up there. Right. And then you have the Volvos and the Audis and all these, which is very tough segment to be in. Sure. Still with this standard machine, like we call it, the inverted machine, we want to be in the standard business or the industry, but on a high level machine tools, you know, up there in that range.
Right. So, do you guys sell direct, or you sell through channels?
No, we sell here in North and South America. We have some really good distributors. So we have Gossiger, Hartwig, Morris, HEMAC, Molinari in the South America. Okay. Mitch Machine Tools up in Canada. So it's some really good distributors, and they have a big team of service people. Good. And they know our products, and
so people that are interested can reach out to those dealers or Modig directly.
Oh yes.
And get information on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think people are going to want these inverted machines. Now, were you able to protect that design at all?
Yeah, we actually patented it, and that was one of the big things. We've been working on it for quite some time now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, being a smaller company, you cannot have 200 patents of everything. Yeah. So when we started this, we posted 1.5 years ago about the inverted machine, and everyone was excited. We saw the traffic on the webpage, but really what we did was post pictures that was not at all what the machine looked like. So we did our own, you know, under the radar thing. Oh, yeah. So it didn't look at all what it looks today.
Kind of a head fake.
Yes.
Yeah. People went and copied that. Yeah, go copy that one.
Just go copy. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Oh, that was really smart.
Yes.
So are there other innovations in the pipeline? Of course, you're not ready to talk about them, but are there other game changers?
There is, actually. A lot of the automotive industry is now going for bigger castings. So we have a few machines for that. You have the rear body casting, which is going to be a big thing in the future, you know, the whole back part of the car. Yeah. Actually just refining what we have, because it's also challenging to do a lot of new design all the time. You want to get to a stable place, more or less.
Sure.
Because it doesn't matter if you sold 1,000 machines, you will always have something you can improve. Always.
Yeah. I think you guys have nailed the mechanics so well.
Yes.
I think like a lot of the improvement is probably coming from the drives, the motors, controls, which is a lot easier to deal with than changing up mechanics.
Exactly. And also things that you don't really control, which is a problem for many machine tool builders. Chips. How do you control chips when you start testing? You just see machines in the CAD environment, and then you start machining, obviously, in the test facilities. But then there is redesigns needed.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So mechanics will stay the same, continue to take advantage of high performance electronics, if you will, motors, inverted machining coming along.
Yes.
What do you do when you're not sitting around drinking wine, thinking of flipping machining on his head? What's your hobbies?
Okay, my hobby is machine tools. Actually, it sounds quirky, but it's what I do. I mean, I enjoy spending time with the family back home.
Yeah.
We have a 3-year-old daughter.
Oh, nice.
I have a wonderful wife, and we have another kid coming here in January. So
fantastic! Congratulations on that.
It's really good. So 4th generation of Modig is secured, I think.
Do you have a lot of family in the business?
No, I mean, I have my father still. He's in the business, but more to help and to be a mentor.
Okay.
He's a fantastic person, and I mean, he taught me everything I know.
Yeah.
So he's been a good teacher and a good father.
Oh, excellent. So, what are a few lessons that you learned from your father that you may want to make sure to pass on to your children? I'm throwing you on the spot there, but
I mean, I would say one thing that sticks to my mind is you can do anything you want as long as you have the passion and you're interested and are ready to work hard for it.
Wow.
So that's I mean, both my father and I, we didn't go to high school, school, nothing.
Yeah.
Just started on the machine floor.
Yep. Wow. You know what? That's so interesting. I had was telling people the other day. I remember when I was a little boy, and my dad would come in at night and go to sleep. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, an astronaut. And he's like, great. Here's what you got to do. You got to study this and do this. And the next time, what do you do? I want to be a fireman. Great. Here's what you got. And so my dad never told me anything was impossible.
Yes.
But I had to make wise decisions and put in the effort.
Yep.
And then I could be anything that I wanted to be. It sounds like your dad gave you that same wisdom.
Oh, yes.
So
and I will try to transfer that to my kids as well. Because it is about passion and having fun as well.
Yeah, and empowering children to think. And especially you got a daughter?
A daughter, and now it's a small boy coming.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and for the girls, I think it's even more especially important that there more and more opportunities are opening up where women are doing things that I in the past you just didn't see them in certain roles as much in the manufacturing industry. And I could see her on the shop floor at Modig and running Modig one day.
It's actually we had after my grandfather started the business. When he died, my grandmother took over, and that was in the 60s.
Okay.
So that was very unusual to have a lady running a machine tool business at that time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's going to happen again.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
And so in the U.S., as you get ready to launch these inverted machining centers, it's going to take the world by storm, I have no doubt. Are you going to have local, you're supporting it through distributors, right?
Yes.
But are you going to set up like service centers?
Or we have in the, so what we have in Wichita is the demo facility.
Okay.
We will have machines, stock machines as well.
Okay.
Because there is quite a few different models coming out, so the single spindle trunnion machine is one thing, right?
Yes.
But then we have the double spindles focusing more towards the automotive.
Okay.
So there will be 3 models of double spindle machines as well.
Yeah.
So I think in this area you have to really be able to show what you have and support it in a good way. So biggest focus right now in Modig, and especially now when we're growing like we are, is to make sure the customer is happy and support them as best as we can.
Yeah. Are you having the challenges finding talent like we do here in America?
It's it's a big challenge. Sweden one time was a very big machine tool country.
Yeah.
We're the only one left now in Scandinavia
Okay.
who builds milling machines for like CNC milling machines.
Wow.
And it's hard to find people that knows machine tools for sure. So what we actually did now, we started Modig Germany, and we're hiring people down there because Germany is a machine tool country.
Yeah.
Try to attract good people.
Yeah. So one more thing hit my mind quickly. CAM software. When you're programming machines that have these kind of metal removal, it must blow the minds of all the CAM software.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the big issues. When you have machines like these, we say, okay, we're going to be 30% faster than X brand, then you have to have a different mindset and know what the limits are on the machine.
Sure.
Because we have developed it to be better than the competitors, but it can be as good if you don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So you don't have your grandmother driving your Ferrari, right? So
exactly.
It needs to be the right people behind the steering
wheel.
Well,
I think we're about out of time here, and I think you and I could go on for hours and hours, and hopefully we'll do that over beer or a glass of wine.
Absolutely.
But David Modig, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Today, and I just am inspired by your innovation, by the quality. And every one of your customers that I talk to is an evangelist. And that so really says something.
Thank you. That's very kind. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go boom. Let's go boom. Boom.
Mary here again with you at the IMTS 2022 Creators Lounge. We're telling stories, we're connecting, we're innovating, we're sharing our inspiration. I call that the joy transaction. And we are in for another fantastic segment with Mitch, CEO of Zicki, is going to be speaking with Paul Van Metre, co-founder and CEO of ProShop. Let's go to them now.
Hello, IMTS 22. This is Mitch here at the Creators Lounge. Hashtag we are all creators. I am excited to be here with Paul Van Metre from ProShop. Paul,
Hey,
welcome.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks for
Great to be
joining
here.
me. I am a huge fan, so to get to sit down and chat, I don't think 30 minutes is going to do us justice, but we're gonna
We'll
try.
do our best.
And as you know, this is unscripted. We're just going to talk.
Just talk
right?
shop, right?
Yeah. So I mean, ProShop.
Yes,
You guys
sir.
have just taken the world by storm in the ERP. You're everywhere. And you've got evangelists out there raving for you guys. It's a great story, but let's back up.
Sure.
Tell me about your background and then what was the evolution of ProShop?
Yeah, great question. So my ProShop was conceived as a way to solve my own shop's problems.
Okay, so you had a shop.
I owned a machine shop.
Okay.
My partners and I started it right out of college.
Okay.
We were college buddies. We went through a manufacturing engineering type program.
Okay.
We actually designed and built Formula SAE cars.
Okay.
And we had CNC machines in the shop in college.
Okay.
And we fell in love with machining.
Yeah.
And we decided that we wanted to start a machine shop right out of school.
And were you pretty naive?
We were
Looking
so
back-
naive, so young, so dumb. We were, 22, 23 when we
Yeah,
started
yeah.
our shop. My older brother, one of my partners, was also a partner, took out a second mortgage on his house.
Okay.
That bought a Haas VF4.
I hope that worked out for him.
It did work out well. We'll get to that part later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Haas VF4, used manual mill and lathe, and enough rent for a few months in a little 2,000 square foot warehouse.
Well, but this is a typical story, right?
Oh, so many shops start this.
Yeah.
Super humble beginnings.
Right.
We started knocking on doors. People would hardly take us seriously because we were
Yeah.
baby faced.
Yeah, yeah.
But we found enough work to hire some employees. We started to grow, add more machines. And when we got to a level, about 3 years in, we had about a dozen employees.
Mm-hmm.
And things started to get a little hectic to manage everything.
Yeah, sure.
The jobs, the schedule, the cutting tools, the gauges, all those things just got a little much for Excel, which is what we were kind of using.
Sure.
So we went out on the market and we started looking for shop management software. And, not to disparage anyone else, but we just didn't like anything that we saw. We
Right.
just didn't seem like it was that well suited for a job shop business.
Yeah, yeah. Now, full disclosure, I am a ProShop customer at Zicki,
Thank you, sir.
and we run the software. So, full disclosure there. So, I happen, as I ask questions, I do know a lot about it.
Yes.
But let me ask this. So, did you have certifications at that time when you built the software?
Not at that time. So we started our shop in 97.
Okay.
We realized we needed some software in around 2000 and couldn't find anything we liked. So we hired a full-time software developer to build us something. Okay. We honestly had no intentions of ever selling it to anyone else. Yeah. It was just to solve our own problems. Right. So by the late 2000, early 2001, we had enough basic modules to start actually using it on the shop floor. Okay. But we did not hold ISO certification back then. Okay. So
one of the things that I know from having built a lot of software by businesses in the past, G.com and stuff, is it's a never-ending process, right? Well, I remember when I developed the first software, I thought to myself, I'm going to develop it, and I'm going to hire this developer contractor for 90 days. Oh my God, was that naive, right? And so I have shops sometimes that'll say, "Oh, I'm thinking about creating my own system."
Oh yeah, we hear that too. Yeah. And we were pretty much that naive. We figured it would take them maybe a year to build something, and then we'd be done development, and then we'd use it for the rest of our shop's future. Yeah. And it just never worked out. We just kept wanting more features, more modules, more pages, more buttons, and he just kept building it. Yeah. And so we did that for about 8 years. And during that time, we got ISO certified in 2004. We built all the modules to run our ISO system. We got AS9100 certified in 2006. Mm-hmm. We built all the features for compliance to AS9100. Sure. And then in 2008, we had our largest machine shop customer see ProShop. They came, visiting the shop. And they said, "This is way better than what we're using. Would you sell it to us?" And we were like, "No, we're just a machine shop. We don't want to get in the software business." They said, "Well, if you ever change your mind, let us know." We thought about it. We approached them, worked out a deal. So in 2008, they became our first software customer, as well as still being our biggest machine shop customer.
And that's probably a lot of work because you probably didn't design it to be transported and multi-tenant, multi-instance.
We never planned on having anyone else use it. So yes, it was a bit of work. It was good work, obviously, at this point to have done. And within 3 or 4 months, it revolutionized their whole shop. Yeah. Their on-time delivery skyrocketed. They freed up 3 overhead staff, like expediters, that they just didn't need doing their job. Sure. So completely streamlined the shop. And they started then asking us, well, can we introduce you to some of our other vendors, which were our own competitors? Mm-hmm. And we said, all right, let's give it a shot. So we sold it 3 more times. So, and that also went exceedingly well. And we made the decision at that point to sell our shop and go full-time into software. Wow, that's fantastic. So when we sold the company in 2014, we had about 75 people. We had about a little over 30 spindles, running 3 shifts. Not only we were
That's a significant size business in the machining world.
It was a good size shop. Yeah. And not only were we just a machine shop, we were also AS certified for engineering work. Okay. So we actually designed and built complex jigs and fixtures for people like Northrop Grumman. Yeah. It was a serious shop.
Absolutely. So I know, I kind of lived the same pain with Ziki. I started in 2014. Yeah. And we're using spreadsheets, we're using Smartsheet, we're using a myriad of tools. Sure. We got AS9100 certified, but before ProShop. Yeah. And then we're trying to keep up with everything that we have to do. Calibrations and nonconformances and training manuals and trainings. Yeah. And I started looking around at ERP systems. I looked at everybody. And
it's good to do the due diligence.
I did the due diligence, right? And I knew it had to be cloud-based.
Sure.
I wasn't going to go old school and something that wasn't built for the cloud, right? Yep. If it wasn't built for the cloud, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, we can put an instance on the cloud."
Sure, that's not the same thing.
That's not the same thing. Yeah. Not going there. And so this day and time, I wanted to be cloud-based.
Sure.
And so I realized once I dug in the thought process that you guys had put in, and that this truly was an evolution from people that had developed it based on a need, based on living, because it was just so thoughtful to how shops do business.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because we had our shop for 17 years, and like I said, at the time we sold it, we had 75 people, and all of those people and all the people we employed years prior, they helped us design the software. Yeah. So we had inspectors telling us what they needed. We had setup machinists telling us what they needed. We had purchasing agents telling us what they needed. Receiving, engineering, contract review, customer support. Yeah. And we built tools for all those people.
Yeah. You know, I'll tell you, one of the things that we found is, you know, the hardest thing is not the software. The hardest thing is adoption.
Yes,
getting
that can be hard.
Everybody on the shop floor to check the freaking boxes when they complete an op or when they do something.
Sure.
And receiving inspection to enter the right stuff. Because you can put the best tools out there, but you getting the people in a mindset, that was probably the biggest hurdle we had to cross.
Yeah, and I think that's doubly hard when you have a system that has still paper and some computer work that needs to happen, because you can just, you know, put chicken scratch on paper, but, you know, as you know, we're fully paperless.
Yeah.
So people are using it on the shop floor every day. Yes, there's boxes you need to check, but you know, the next steps down the line rely on the people upstream to do their work properly. And you know, we color code things green and red and yellow to show if people have done their work.
Yeah.
But it definitely does take discipline. It takes that leadership to say, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is the way we're going to run our company from now on.
Yeah. Right.
And the customers that have the best, simplest implementations have just full buy-in from everyone that there's no two ways about it. We are going this way.
I think that's the point that we had. There were a lot of people that just liked their paper system or their spreadsheet. And finally, we just started hitting a wall where it was not going to work. It's just not going to work. Balls were getting dropped.
Sure.
And I think, unfortunately, through some pain, it caused everybody to get on board.
Right.
But it took us a little bit of time to get it.
People are creatures of habit. They don't like to change the way they do stuff.
But once we did, it just we saw the benefits.
I love it.
And we're going to move on from just evangelizing ProShop in a moment. But I will say the other thing that is our audits, our AS9100 audits, just got so damn easy. Because everything the auditor wants to see is right there at your fingertip. And so that's worked for the AS9100.
And customer audits, too.
Yeah.
They get blown away. Yeah. They love that. And it helps you as a sales tool, right?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here at IMTS. There's a lot of folks that are discovering this that couldn't come to the show.
Sure.
And discovery is what I want to talk about a little bit. We're here at the Creators Lounge talking about digital content. So you've come up relatively short period of time against a lot of established players and gained a lot of market share.
Very crowded space,
Very crowded space.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate? How are you getting the word out? How are you generating leads and traction and reputation? Talk to me about your marketing strategy.
Well, my marketing strategy is hiring Sarah, because she's awesome.
Hi, Sarah.
But beyond just the amazing Sarah, we really go all in on social proof with customers evangelizing our product and being really transparent. Sarah,
can we get Sarah a microphone and bring her in?
Sarah's very shy. But we really do, you may have seen in our booth, we have a client ambassador program going on for the whole show. At one point earlier today, we had 5 different customers in our booth wearing ProShop shirts, helping us sell ProShop.
That's fantastic.
We asked them if they wanted to come join us, and they raised their hand and said, we'd love to do that.
Yeah, that's excellent. Welcome, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. You let's make sure the microphone's on there. Yeah.
Is it on?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
The world can hear you now.
Amazing.
Well, so I see all the great marketing online you guys are doing out there, and it's amazing the traction that you guys have gotten in such a short period of time. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts a little bit about how do you take a product like this and make sure the world knows about it?
Yeah, I think it's a lot about patience, knowing that you're in it for the long game, right? With things like SEO and content that we've built up. Paul has these power hours on his calendar. Well, he'll just pump out content and then hand it over, to marketing, and then we make it nice and pretty, and then we send it out. So I think it's about being patient, and then just knowing what your strengths are and knowing when to give it to somebody else. When to hire somebody else to do stuff. Yeah.
And
so, are you doing a lot of traditional marketing these days, or you're pretty much just all online stuff?
Some of each. I mean, Sarah puts together this awesome graph every month of where our customers are coming from, and we call it this sort of omni-channel approach.
Okay.
We're getting customers, of course, from SEO.
Yeah.
That's our number one. Referrals are number two.
Okay.
And then all these other channels, different, social media channels, traditional marketing channels, paid media.
Right.
It's a lot of places.
Yeah, and one of your content has a lot of domain expertise built into it.
Well, clearly with, years and years of shop experience,
right.
that is.
And I think that is so important, right? And I think, when I see people that will use a marketing firm or an agency that doesn't have the industrial or the technical speak, you see it so clearly.
Sure.
We know when there's a word that's out of place.
Yes, we do.
Or somebody is posing.
Yes.
Right? And so that's where you guys have done a good job. So you're fantastic to get that content out of him and then purpose it in a way not to lose that authenticity, et cetera.
Yeah. And one other thing I wanted to mention, early on when we were first starting and trying to figure out how we were going to do our marketing, I was actually really concerned about being super transparent about how ProShop worked.
Yeah.
Because I figured our competitors would then watch videos I made and things I said and copy our features.
Yeah.
And at some point I figured, I don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to throw stuff out there. And so if you go on our website, you can literally watch hours and hours of content of us showing exactly how ProShop works, of customers talking about how they use it.
Yeah.
And we're not thinking about our competitors. And when people approach us, this is not an uncommon scenario. I'll have someone call us up on a Monday morning and they'll say, I just binge watched 12 hours of ProShop content all weekend and I'm almost ready to buy.
Wow.
And a lot of our competitors, they don't show the product.
No.
It's behind a walled garden. You got to sign up for a demo. You got to put in your email, and we just throw it out there. Because I know, and when I ran my shop, if I wanted to buy something, I wanted to be able to research it all I wanted without having to talk to someone first.
Right. Yeah. People want to buy. They don't want to be sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
We let them make that choice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that's a huge thing. Nowadays, people want to be able to do their own research on their own. I don't remember the statistics, but it's something like a big percentage of people pretty much know if they're going to buy before they talk to the salesperson. Yeah. Right? So making that content readily available about ProShop and even about industry best practices that Paul knows a lot about that can provide somebody value without even selling them your product, right? So
I remember years ago hearing people talk about print media and the web and digital media.
Sure.
And they would say in the print media, you're reading or you come across an ad in a magazine and there's something you didn't even know you needed. And print media was really good for that. Or things like this. You walk through, you see a tool, you see something like, wow, I didn't even know I needed that. I didn't know there was that solution. But when you're in digital media or you go to the web, right, you know what you want, you just don't know where to find it or who's got it.
Right.
And so positioning yourself in those channels and leveraging the SEO to make sure that you're relevant is
so important.
Is so important, right?
And producing a lot of video content I also think is really important. Google ranks that very high. Yeah. People love to consume video.
People love that.
Pushing it through in every channel you can think of.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the part behind IMTS and industrial studios creating this to generate content. There are many tens of thousands of people that wish they could be here at IMTS. They couldn't. And so IMTS being thought leaders they are, how do we take companies like ProShop and give them additional value to help them get bigger exposure to the people that couldn't be here at IMTS. Yeah. And so I think that is tremendous value. So Sarah, a little bit, since you're the brains behind all the marketing here. So, and I know other companies that are looking at how do they duplicate something like that. What's your background? How did you come in to be so good at this?
Oh, Paul taught me everything that I know.
Sarah has a marketing degree, so she studied it in school.
Yeah.
Going to school is very different from actually working in marketing, in my opinion. So I think yeah, again, trial and error, looking at the metrics and letting it tell you where to go, I think is a big thing too.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I would say it's the same. I went to machining trade school, and when I got out, I thought I was good, and then I went into a shop.
And you realized everything you
I realized
know.
I was a pre-apprentice.
Yes.
It's about the level that I really was.
Sure.
So that's it. So what do you see? What do you see next? Oh, but what thing I want to touch on? Integrations.
Sure.
What are you guys doing there?
Yeah, so we are, over the last year and a half or so, we've been building a very in-depth API into our entire product. So it's a GraphQL API, a very modern type of API. So we now have many customers that are pulling data right out of ProShop for all sorts of uses, from machine monitoring to custom forms to pulling data into other systems they may want to for reporting purposes. Yeah. And then shortly, people are going to be pushing back data back into it. So we have an integration with Datanomics right now, a machine monitoring company.
I have seen their demo.
Doing
I'm
great,
impressed with
doing
Datanomics.
Yeah, it's a neat platform.
Yeah.
So they're going to be pushing data back into ProShop to update scheduling and targets and part counts, which has all sorts of benefits for job costing and real-time scheduling and all that kind of stuff. So the API is just going to opening the whole world up. And there's just there's so many use cases. That we're very excited
and that really
about.
speaks well to your more open and transparent concept, right? About not putting your videos out there, letting people see the functionality, let it discover. And hey, if there's somebody that has a tool out there that we don't develop, or even if they do it better than us, fine, we'll play with them.
I mean, like we have we have an estimating module. We also have an integration with paperless parts. Because they do great estimating.
I talked to Jason on Monday, and I'm another company I'm really impressed with how far they've come in
they do awesome work.
Such a short amount of time.
And when it comes to stuff like that, we really want to be fairly agnostic. Create partnerships with paperless, with machine research, on the monitoring side with Datanomics, with machine metrics, with Chatter, and then also provide really solid native solutions if people just want to stay in our ecosystem as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think they're in my ear telling me we're about out of time here.
Okay.
So, Sarah Morrow, thank you for dropping in here and joining us. And
thank you, Sarah.
Many people are seeing the effort, the fruits of your labor out there on LinkedIn and Instagram and Google and everywhere. And Paul and Metre, thank you very much for joining us and for the great product and the support that you provide to me and my company.
Well, you're welcome. We care so much about this industry. It is the absolute foundation of our entire economy.
It is.
And it is so important that your shops like yours and all the shops out there just thrive to help our whole economy with jobs and just the well-being of the whole country. It's so important.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry to put